Hello and welcome to part 2 of the myvirtualflights.com instructional series. This series I've decided will be divided into 4 parts, and I apologize for my very bad sounding voice in the first part. I sounded very kiddie and a little bit sales pitchy, so I do apologize for that. In this part, we're going to teach you all about making reservations. And reservations, of course, are what you need to fly and get flight cash and fly miles. Aside from the competitions, which we'll talk about in the third part. But for right now, we're just going to take you through the process of making a reservation. As you can see, before we start, my flight cash and fly miles were upgraded from yesterday because I did participate in a competition not long before I shot the first take of this video. The basic objective of my virtual flights is to visit the most destinations and fly more than anybody else on the website in 1 month. If you are the one that flies the most to the most destinations in the month, you will be crowned Lord of the Skies, which is a competition that we'll go into more detail in the third part. But it all starts with making reservations, and we're going to show you how to do that right now. Go to the Travel Center, which is the first tab to the right of your profile. The Travel Center holds your reservation thing. So click on the first link, which is New Reservation. Now in this tutorial, we're not actually going to book a flight. We're just going to show you how to book a flight, and then you can fly it for yourself because it would take too long and you are flying in real time. And remember, all times are Greenwich Mean Time or GMT. So you will have to find a time converter or online or some GMT clock device if you live in a time zone other than GMT, which I do, so I have to find a clock. Now, as you can see from the new reservation screen, it says you are currently at Miami International Airport. How can I help you? And when you sign up, you pick an airport to board at for your first flight. My first airport was Atlanta, and I flew to Miami 2 days ago. It was a relatively cheap flight, so I was able to pay for it and get down to South Florida. So first, obviously, you have to pick your destination. And let's go to... Oh, by the way, they have 102 destinations on 52 fictional but fabulous airlines. And the good thing about those 102 destinations, they're on all 7 continents. I know what you're thinking. Yes, I can finally go to Antarctica! Nobody ever takes me there. Seriously, no one ever talks about going to Antarctica on these flight simulators. Well, this one actually lets you go to 1 destination in Antarctica, so that's really good. So we're just going to pick a random one. Let's go to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. You pick your departure date and pick your mode of transport. As you can see, they have 4 modes: airplane, cruise, bus, and train. You can also enter a promotional code if you wanted to fly to a destination that has a special offer or something associated with it. For example, there's an offer, or there was an offer at least, going on where you could fly to Johannesburg or Cape Town, South Africa, by using the promotional code football. So we're just going to click search, and you will be presented with a travel schedule if, as you can see, there is a flight available on your selected departure date. Currently, there is no there are no flights to Rio de Janeiro today, so you will have to modify your destination. London. That seems like a good place. London, United Kingdom. Let's see if we can find a flight there. Nope. It will take me just a minute or two. Okay, in the last example, we used Paris, so I know there's going to be one flight there, because we found one earlier. Ah, here we go. As you can see, the departure time is 23:15 Greenwich Mean Time. You'll fly Liberty Airways on carrier code LU62. Your arrival time is 8 o'clock GMT the next day. That's what the +1 means. If it's +1, you'll arrive the next day, and +2, you'll arrive in the next 2 days, etc., etc. Equipment is a B767-300. Classes are first class, which is F, second class or business class, which is J, and Y, which is economy. Now, if you're relatively new to this, like I am, I suggest flying with economy as much as possible, because even though it's the worst class in terms of service, it is the cheapest. So if I wanted to book this flight, I would click this check mark. And I'm not actually going to do it, and this clock says click here for flight journey status. You, as I said, travel in real time. And what you need to do after you book a flight is you need to choose your class and pay the necessary virtual taxes. And then you need to check in. Check-in opens 24 hours before your departure time, and you must check in prior to takeoff. Then, the only bad thing about this is, I believe, it doesn't actually give you a real view of a plane. You're not actually looking out of the window at the places you go, but that's what Google Images is for, right? So you can use that once you land or anything like that. But anyway, what you have to do is keep clicking the Retrieve Journey Status button. That will tell you whether your plane is taxiing to runway, taking off, if it's airborne, if it's landing, if it's approaching the terminal gates at your destination, or, better yet, if it's arrived. So every now and then, pretty much on a regular or semi-regular basis, click that button and it will refresh the page and tell you how your journey is going. And sometimes, as in real airlines, there will be cancellations and everything like that. And again, don't forget to check out the special offers section on a regular basis, because that will give you discounted prices to certain destinations and discounts with certain airlines. So you check-in opens 24 hours before the estimated departure time. You must check in before takeoff. Otherwise, it is counted as a missed flight. And again, you fly in real time, and it's Greenwich Mean Time. So if you live in a different time zone other than GMT, you'll have to find a time zone converter or find a GMT clock to track how much time you have until your flight takes off or lands, because you are flying in real time. And that is pretty much how to book a reservation. If I didn't get all of it, then the best way to find out how to do this is to book a reservation on your own. Now, in order to book reservations, you need to have FlyCash and FlyMiles. And in the next video, I'll show you exactly how to get them. That's going to do it for part 2 of this My Virtual Flights. Thank you, and goodbye. See you in part 3.